to say hi. Fuck.
Gringos in the house, straight out of Hialeah, no doubt. East 10th Street, where we play out. Here we bring the Miami crowd. Alex, the boy with the B. Step into rhythm, feel the heat. Street vibes mixing with the Latin tree. In our flow, the two worlds meet. East 10th Street boys, bring the party. Bring the noise from Hialeah with some joy.
Drink water like that.
Well, I'm telling you, bro, I'm focused, bro. I'm focused, man. Yeah, inside out.
You know who I am by now.
Identify as.
You know, hey. When Alex takes a shower, the dude goes for 3 hours. I mean, it's like, you know he's going to be gone for a while. You have time. Do whatever you're going to do. Go grocery shopping. Go eat dinner.
Latin spice and neon lights.
Good evening, Miami and everybody else. Welcome to another edition of East 10th Street Boys, straight out of Hialeah. On our new day and time on Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. We usually are Wednesdays at 9:30, but we updated that because we welcome back the Caneswear podcast, who now take over the 9 p.m. slot on Wednesday night. So shout out to Brett and the Caneswear crew. 2 great shows so far and 2 weeks in a row. But we are here. We weren't able to do a show last week, Alex, my brother. So we were catching up before the show. We already basically did the show.
We're done.
So we're just going to have to redo it again, I guess,
that's fine.
for the live people. But it is what it is. So, yes. Alex, how the hell are you, brother?
I'm doing great, buddy. I missed you. I missed you last week. And like you said, we have a new time and date. So when Thursday Night Football comes back, we're just going to battle it out with them to see who's bigger. And
right.
who our audience really, really loves and matters. So we'll be watching. We'll be watching, Miami.
That's right. Hey, and if the Dolphins play, we'll have a special pregame show.
Do we got a Thursday Night Football game this year?
I don't know. I doubt it. Who knows? You know, we never know. You know how it is. You know how it is. Do the Dolphins deserve it? I don't know. But
particularly, I hate them. I hate those short weeks, by the way. I know it comes with a bye week usually, but oh man, it's just bad football.
Let me see. I don't want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Heat are playing right now.
Yeah.
Marlins. I'm wearing the Marlins gear. The Miami Marlins won today. Walk-off hit, a run in, and it was awesome.
Double.
I'm so glad I was able to get home in time. I was like, I'm gonna watch. I want to follow Marlins baseball and this season. I want to be specific and try to tune in because eventually I do want to get Marlins programming on here. You know, but I'm sorry, and it was great. You know, I the young crew and. It was awesome to see. No quit with them, and they were able to close it out and pull out a big win. And they faced Paul Skeens today, right? He started the game.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
That was awesome. They started off with a run. They were 1-0, and then of course that's when I was done paying attention at work. Had to do some stuff. Came back around. They were down 2-1.
Yeah.
4-2. You know, so I was like, okay, got home in time, saw the win. So shout out to the Miami Marlins getting the first win of the season, and shout out to Russ Morgan of the On Deck Baseball podcast. For those who love baseball, check him out Wednesdays at 7:30 Eastern here on FTSN. Great dude, great information. He's a great dude overall, minus being a Jets and a Celtics fan. Just a good dude.
You know, you can't have
and a
everything
Yankees
in life.
You
can't have everything in life.
It can't be perfect. No one's perfect.
I mean, but we love you, Russ. We appreciate you.
All
man.
good. All good.
Everybody has defects here and there. It's okay. It's okay.
You know, and the Miami Heat right now possibly getting their 3rd straight win, up 13 points against Atlanta.
We gonna fuck around and
play.
make the playoffs.
Hey, they're gonna mess it all up, man. We could have had Cooper. Hey, let's get to that. Let's just talk about the Miami Heat for a minute. Man, nothing. I don't care how the season ends. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
I am satisfied after what happened with the Golden State game. Nothing satisfied me more than watching what they did. You know, don't get me wrong. Love Jimmy's contribution. Love what Jimmy was to the Heat. And I appreciate Jimmy, and I'll appreciate him when he retires. But what he did before he left Miami, what he did after he left Miami, and what he was saying as he was before this game, I was like, dude, I hope we embarrass the hell out of you. And they did that, man. Bam Adebayo stepped up big time, had a great game. Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Andrew Wiggins, he had a
Yeah.
40-point game the game before, but the
Yeah,
last
42.
game, I was telling my son, if look at the numbers, who did better? And he said, "Well, oh, Bam Adebayo." I said, "Yeah, Bam had a great game." I said, "But look at Andrew Wiggins. He had like 3 blocks. I don't know how many, 10 points. Then this many assists. He had a complete basketball game.
Yeah.
And that was his former team. Nobody talked about that. He won a title with Golden State, and nobody's talking about him. They're all talking about my Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
So, I was very happy and satisfied. And of course, the icing on the cake was Jimmy walking off the court but not saying nothing to his former teammates. It's like, oh, it's not about the teammate. It wasn't about them. I love them. Yeah, he was like, I'm done. He walked out. So a lot of bullshit BS there. But Alex, talk to me, man. They've won 2 in a row. Talk to me about the Warriors game first, how you felt about that game, and then we'll get into what's possibly going to happen here.
To recap, even the whole situation, obviously the whole world was watching. And what I love is that this game was on national TV. So everybody got to see this. What brought up a lot of people's minds is, damn, why can't we have this Bam all the time? Bam looked engaged fully energized. Now, what you can see, obviously, is a very emotional game. Whoever says that it's just another game, that's bullshit. Everybody has been a competitor in their life, and they've left a situation, or you've been left, because remember, this is something that this is your players. That locker room feels betrayed for the most part. Yeah, you can tell me it's about management and all that. That's okay, but you just quit on me mid-season, man. Your friends are talking shit about Bam on Twitter. Obviously, the relationships, by not saying anything, it said so much in regards to the relationship at the end of that locker room with Jimmy. And it wouldn't have been sustainable. He talked to Kevin Love. He talked to Terry Rozier. Those are people that he was close with towards the end. But remember, Miami fans supported Jimmy. Miami fans loved Jimmy. When he turned on Spo and when they saw him quit towards the last, 2 weeks of the season of his tenure here, that's when it changed. Now, the Warriors coming into town, it still shows that without Curry, the Warriors aren't going anywhere. To me, they're a first-round exit. They don't have the athleticism. They don't have that depth that they had before. And you can see that without Curry, they're one-dimensional. And the Heat were equipped to play this game. Obviously, the Warriors were in town for 4 to 5 days. There's going to be some little jet lag there with the Miami nightlife, no matter what they say or what they do. But it just showed that even Wiggins is being used differently than he was in Golden State. So that's going to unlock another part of his game, another component that he brings winning attributes to the Heat. And the way they're starting to click, the way the youth is developing in front of our eyes, even with Jovic coming back, probably he's already cleared to start doing on-court work. He might be back by mid-April. It's realistic that we make the play-in. I'm not either for or against. I understand the ramifications and we'll talk about that. But it was very fulfilling to see them control a lead that they had, that they built, and that they extended into the fourth quarter. Because for a while, this team has collapsed. But now it goes to show you, all those collapses, it teaches you something. A young team needs to learn how to win through adversity. That's part of your development as a player, as a unit, as a staff. And now you're starting to see, like, holy shit, if we would have been able to maintain all those leads, even this Heat team, the way it's constructed, this could have been a 4th or a 5th seed in the East easily. And you have situations in Milwaukee. Dame Lillard with now is going to miss an undisclosed amount of time with a blood clot. So that opens up as well. There's a lot of situations that it's a learning moment. It's a trial season. It's a trial and tribulation season, because even what the staff has had to go through, when you build a team around a certain individual to complement that individual, even though you're starting to change your offensive style, it takes a very long time for players like a Bam, like a Hero, to even mentally come to grips that they are the guy. They are the team. And what I saw was Wiggins played a huge role, but Tyler and Bam were focal points against the Warriors. Tyler and Bam beat the Warriors, and they stuck it to Jimmy. And that's what everybody saw. Like I said, mad respect to Jimmy for what he did. I do not respect at all the way he's handled himself after. I mean,
Yeah.
no one's going to give a shit about my opinion, but the least you can do is go up to your former teammates. I know you quit on them, so you're not going to make face, and time heals a lot of things. But the Heat organization, I believe they kind of set this up in a way to make sure that Jimmy was going to be himself and it was going to play out this way. They took the high road. They gave him the tribute video. They've said all the right things in public, and they're going to let Jimmy do. And a lot of things are going to come out in the offseason. In a few years, a lot of more stories are going to come out. But for now, you kind of feel after that Warriors game, that's why I told you, I think people are going to be seeing the Heat in a different light nationally. A lot of people think that this team is like 3 or 4 years away. There's a player out there right now, even a Kevin Durant, anybody else, that they're like, shit, Miami's there. Miami, Khalil Ware is developing. Davion Mitchell seems to be pretty decent. Tyler Hero is taking his game up a notch. Bam is being aggressive. I'm like, okay, I could be of help. I could be that missing piece. So Miami's not that far away. People are painting these bleak pictures in the offseason. I think we're going to be just fine. And it was just exciting for them to see. I felt like turning of a page. With it in season, now we can go on a roll.
Yeah, and right now the Miami Heat are up 108-94 with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter against Atlanta. Atlanta's 35-37. Miami, of course, 31-41. And with the leading scorer, of course, Tyler Hero with 29 points. Wiggins with 14. Burks with 11. Burks had a great game against the Warriors. Mitchell has 10.
Yeah.
And Khalil Ware is 17 and 12 right now.
Spo has a nice rotation going. I don't know if you've noticed. He's already stuck to his rotation. Even slow-mo, Kyle Anderson, he kind of gives you what Jovic was supposed to give you, but on the opposite. Instead of pushing the pace, he slows down the pace a little bit. So he gives you some stability there. But Highsmith, slow-mo, you got, oh my God, who's the other person? But he's starting Burks until Robinson comes back. I think Robinson didn't play today, right?
No, Robinson's not playing right now. Yeah.
Okay. So he has Highsmith, slow-mo, and Davion Mitchell off the bench. So
he's
probably playing 8 or 9.
He has, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys over 10 points.
Yeah.
Balanced game. Mitchell, Burks, 10 and 11. Wiggins with 14. Bam with 12. But then Highsmith has 9. Kyle Anderson has 8. He's 8, 4, and 2. And Khalil Ware is 7 and 12. So 7 points, 12 rebounds. So that's and that's my thing. Like I said it before, you just get the Heat in the playoffs. It's it's a whole new season. But to me, it's a win-win. You go into you get in the play-in or playoffs, perfect. Just go. But if you lose out getting the lottery, I'm cool with that too because the Heat have hit on their draft picks lately, and it's a decent draft.
Correct.
It's a decent draft where I'm okay with it. I know with the Warriors losing, that helps Miami's draft pick because Miami would have 2.
Yeah, correct.
Or we at least still have the Warriors pick, but because Miami would lose their pick if they're in the playoffs, right?
Miami loses their pick this year if they make the playoffs, correct?
Okay.
But the ramifications are that if we keep our pick this year, then we send in a 2026 and 2028 unprotected. Oklahoma 26 and Charlotte 28. So that's what they really don't want. They don't want to send an unprotected pick over there. So we'll see. I mean, if we could get Golden State's pick like in the teens, I'm okay. I got no problem. But
there's still moves to be made too. Like if because you still got a lot.
Salary cap went up, so that gives you some space too. So
did you see the news with Adam Silver today?
Yes.
That they're going to do an international league, or they're talking about that.
It makes sense, bro. It makes sense. They're going to make money off this, and then you can have a real World Championship NBA final. So you got the USA versus Europe, or China. Like you could have a legit competition for the world champion that year. I mean, it's pretty cool if they get it. If they really get. And of course, the NBA.
They say 16 teams.
In Europe it's going to be a 16-team league. But now, what's crazy is, and Adam Silver made a mention to it that they'll talk about expansion now. I mean, the Celtics just sold for $6 billion.
Yeah,
that automatically rises every franchise's value. And now owners don't want to expand because they don't want to share the money. But when a team is valued at $6-7 billion, the next team that's going to sell is going to sell for more than that.
Yeah.
So. Which is why Glenn Taylor was fighting his sale for the Timberwolves, and because he agreed to sell him for $1.5 billion. And now you see why he didn't want to sell. He didn't want to go through on the contract. He was trying to find any loophole, and he had to sell it for 1.5. So,
You got to understand now. Now they can turn around and sell that.
oh yeah,
And, get like $5 billion. But my God. But no, that was really cool, and I like what the Heat are doing right now. I'm all about it. I don't want to lose out. I don't want to tank or nothing like that. It's cool to see the team coming together. If there's a chance to win and get the playoffs, you do it. That's how I feel about it. I want to touch on this because I thought it was interesting because I didn't get to watch the whole thing. I did watch a part of it.
uh-huh.
Then I saw a lot of clips of it. LeBron James. We know the back and forth. Well, we know what Stephen A. Smith was saying after the video got released. We talked about that. LeBron James finally comes on. And I mean, when everybody wants to listen, and then he gives you a lot to listen to.
And then they get upset.
Then he got all butthurt over it. I've never seen that before. Like, I mean, legitimately, these guys are hurt.
Yeah.
Over LeBron, and then all of a sudden now LeBron is not as great as he really is, and it's like, damn. But did you get a chance to watch the whole thing, or did you just see the clips?
I saw the clips again. I didn't get a chance. I wanted to watch the whole thing, like I told you, and then I got caught up with a lot of things, and I couldn't watch it. I could actually sit down for an hour uninterrupted. But I saw a lot of clips, and I saw maybe I want to say 20 minutes worth of the whole interview.
Okay, yeah, that's about what I did. I saw halfway through.
Okay,
and then I saw the majority of the clips. I didn't see the Windhurst thing until later. He said about Windhurst.
About Winnie, yeah.
But it's crazy because if you think about it, like, look, I don't know. My thing is, and I think LeBron kind of alluded to that, and Stephen A. saying is that's what he did. But because we talked about it, coming out, as a father,
correct.
I understand standing up for your kid. Somebody saying something about your kid, no matter how old they are, that's your kid.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we talked about it was that his son's a professional. You're playing for one of the best sports leagues in the world.
Yeah.
For one of the greatest sports teams in the world.
Correct.
This is not some rando team. This is the LA Lakers.
Yeah.
You don't have to be with a fan. It's like the Cowboys. It's like it's like the Celtics. It's
the Yankees.
You're playing for a storied franchise, and your father is one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time to some people.
Mm-hmm.
And LeBron came out and said, "Hey, man, he's already better than half the league or half the players in the league and whatever." So that puts a bullseye on his back. And so when he doesn't play up to that standard, people are going to come at him. Now, for me, I wasn't a fan of the whole, arm barring the league into getting him to the Lakers, but I do understand that his dad is LeBron James. If you have the ability to do that for your son, in order to live that, you got that power. It's to you. Correct. Your business, not mine. Not your problem, not mine. I'm cool with it. At the same time, though, for those who were critiquing Bronny the way they were, coming at him a little hard and were like, "Oh, look, he's not ready." LeBron, this was Stephen A. Stop this. You put him in this situation, get him out. Come on. And of course that's where LeBron got hurt about or offended with. My thing is, he's a rookie. What do you expect the rookies to do? You're not going to get always. You're going to get a rookie who can play at the top of his game. This is not LeBron James. This is Bronny. You got to be patient with him. Correct. If they're going to play him in an NBA game, play him. Don't talk to LeBron. Talk to the Lakers. Hey man, this guy's not ready. Obviously, he might hurt your team. Get him back to the G League again. But he's a rookie. Why are we trying to rush him out? Well, he's not his dad. So that's where I was disagreeing with the whole media's perception of it. Because I didn't agree with him being drafted that high anyway, but or not being drafted the way he was drafted, not high, but just being armbarred into
drafted overall. I got you.
Yeah,
by him.
But by because they're like, oh, all these teams have to skip you or don't touch him at all because he's going to the Lakers. That's where my problem was. But I understand it. So I understood where LeBron was coming from. I get it, and Stephen A. All respect to Stephen A. because who doesn't want to be that life and what he was able to do and where he is right now. He is basically ESPN. Pat McAfee is coming for that role though. I think.
Yeah.
And I think that even as much as LeBron's going, Stephen A's like, I don't have nothing against Pat McAfee or whatever the hell. I have nothing against him. Blah 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 blah. He's like, yeah, you're butthurt over that. You didn't like that he came on his show and he fucking talked you down, and he called whitey tighties. That bothered Stephen A. He's like, I don't wear whitey tighties, and I'll let you know. I'll let you guess why. He's like, oh, okay. And he says,
Yeah.
like, if LeBron would have put hands on me, I would have swung on him. Okay, Chief, we believe you. And I'm like, come on, dude. You
It's
know,
like Stephen A. Smith sometimes goes above and beyond. I understand that's what he gets paid for. That's
yeah.
who he is. He's this persona. He's this character, really. But sometimes I feel like even those people, they get a little bit too full of themselves, and then you forget that the humane factor. And Adam Silver made a comment, and it's true. He mentioned today how there's a lot of networks, a lot of teams, like professional leagues, that they're covered by certain networks, and they critique them, but they're also very positive in regards to how you talk about players. I don't understand where we went about media members criticizing players, how they play, what they do, when they themselves couldn't even perform at that level. Like, I've never understood that ESPN goes out of its way to critique players even more. When you compare coverage of MLB, NHL, like, there's critique on your game. There's critique on what you're doing wrong, but they make it personal. They go like above and beyond.
well, LeBron
I'm
brought
like,
that up. Yeah,
of
LeBron brought it.
course.
It's like, when Embiid was showing, the reporter brings up Embiid's brother. It's like, why does it need to go there?
Why? Like, why are you trying to
because
instigate?
I don't care, like, if whether it's a player, a former player who wasn't great, who's doing media
Correct.
now, or
Correct.
even because they'll be like, whether to skip Bayless. That's your job. Your job is to critique and to be hot takes, but at the same time, you don't need to go to a certain point. Like, and like, I don't mind a player saying, man, LeBron, his head wasn't in it. He needs to do this. Oh, but dude, who are you? Like, you didn't do anything. No, I don't do that. I wouldn't do that. But you know what I mean? Because that's your job, and you're a former player, and you may not be. There's players, a lot of times the worst players are the best coaches. That's a fact. Players that have failed are sometimes the best coaches.
Correct.
Because they know what it takes to they know
on
what
the
it
other
looks
side.
Like. They may have it in their head how to be great, but as a player, they just couldn't click. So I don't ever mind no matter who they were to tell, but it's to a point where it's like it doesn't need to get to that point. Like Kendrick Perkins, like listening to him today,
look. I used to love Perk at times, but look, just you want to know the difference about an ex-player? Complete polar opposites. Udonis Haslem and Kendrick Perkins, and not because he's UD, not because he's our OG, but when he speaks, you notice he makes valid points. He can be funny. He has his little outtakes at times, but he's respectful. He understands the game, and he speaks to you eloquently in a basketball level where people understand. Perks just says fucking random shit at all times. Like, he's just flirting, and then he'll change his persona, and then, like, I do not understand. It's like basketball sensationalism. Like, I don't get it, man. And when you mentioned about the coaches, one of the things that I want to, before I forget about that one, the reason bad players make sometimes great coaches is because they can relate when you're not successful on the court and the development it takes for you to reach it. Sometimes star athletes like Michael Jordan will not be a good coach because he can't. He doesn't have the patience. Now, I was surprised, but if you notice, Larry Bird did it.
Larry Bird was great.
Seasons.
He did. Great. Yeah, he was a very great head coach. Great head coach. He went to the finals, right? He didn't win. He went to the finals though.
Yeah.
Indiana Pacers. Yeah.
Correct. He went 3 seasons, retired. He didn't want to coach again. He became president of basketball ops. Like, that's one of the few great athletes that I know transition into a managerial role or a coaching role, and they were successful. Because a lot of people have tried it. They have not been successful at all.
Notice it's usually the mediocre to not great players that end up being great because they know what it takes. They know, hey man, this is where I messed up. Like or a lot of time they're on the bench and they're watching the game and they're watching their coach and they're analyzing everything. Correct. Or they're with another great player and they're watching the Kobe's and the Michaels and the whatevers, and they're seeing what they were able to do and they could translate it to other players, But no, it's great. Perk is like, man, he's totally gone off. Like I like Perk. But there's some things where I look and I go, God, dude, shut up. When he says when he brought up the race thing with Joker and he got proved wrong, and he's like, and JJ Redick called him out for it. And shout out to JJ, shout out to JJ who had a very good career in media, and then jump back in the league as a coach, and he's doing so far so good. We'll see how long it lasts, but right now he's a different level, man. He's a no nonsense dude, and
bro, can you imagine JJ? Who would have told them that? Oh yeah, you got LeBron. Oh, amazing, great, and you're also gonna have Luka. You're like, what? What, man? Hey, and before I forget about this, you know what's killed this?
1 minute remaining. I was gonna say,
Bronny.
1 minute.
Bronny's been playing great as of late. So this whole situation that happened with Stephen A. Smith, and I told you this.
Yeah. He had 49 points in the G League the other day, right?
Yeah, I think it was 39. Or it could have been something like that.
39.
He went
49.
But
maybe
the problem
39, maybe 30. Yeah.
The game is slowing down for him. When he was in the draft, I told you he's going to be a great combo guard. He has LeBron's athleticism. He has LeBron's court vision. Now, hear me out. If he would have stayed in college, remember, he was 1 year removed from going into cardiac arrest. That body needs a year to recover, to get back into pinpoint basketball shape, define your craft. If he would have stayed in college, he would be a first-round pick this year. And I'm pretty sure there was other teams that wanted to draft him in the second round, but like you said, they were deterred not to draft him because he had to get to the Lakers. The league wanted that. The league needed that. We get that. But for people to say that Bronny James cannot play basketball or he's just in the NBA because he's LeBron James' son, that's not true.
A lie. Yeah,
he's in his position because of his dad. That's 100% accurate.
Which is fine. Which is fine, though.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm not somebody nepotism. I don't.
It
whatever,
exists
dude.
Everywhere. It exists
Alex,
everywhere.
if you ran if you had a business or I had a business and it was successful, are we not going to look at our kids? Hey, if you can't do it, you got a job here, but you're gonna have to work your way up. That's it. In a business, I'm like, hey, you're gonna start at the lowest thing. You're gonna earn your respect.
Like Nick Harrison. His dad made him do everything. From equipment manager, from cleaning the bat, from everything, and now he runs the organization. That's
now you know all the facets that you can never say I didn't do that. That's how I would do it, and that's how I would like. I would prefer to be worked through something than just be given something. But my thing is, if you're gonna call my kid, well, fine, that kid could be a nepo baby, but guess what? They busted their ass through this process. Yeah, they got their foot in the door because of me, but don't act like they didn't work. I have no problem if you have the ability to do that for your child, like a LeBron did for his son. Or whatever, or you think of like wrestling. Vince McMahon did that for his kids or whatever. Do it. You worked your ass off. You do that for your kids. I have no issue with that. So when people use that as a detergent, it's like, man, you're out of your mind. Like you wouldn't do that for your children.
Of course, bro.
But no, it's just funny watching his reaction and watch like Stephen A. And it's so just his reactions to everything.
And it's gonna keep going too. Now it's a back and forth.
Oh, it's the new drama.
And LeBron's just gonna feed into it.
Oh, when Stephen A. Smith said on his show, "Oh, if he would have swung on me, we would have been. It would have been it. I would have swung. He put his hand on me. I would have swung on him." And then LeBron put a thing of Stephen A. boxing, or like whoa, like oh hell no! All right, LeBron, heat up by 10 with 37 seconds, 122 to 112.
Wow!
Right now with 37 seconds remaining.
Wow,
so
man.
I don't want to jinx it.
3-game winning streak, bro.
Woohoo! Yay!
Hey, it's the growing pains of a young team, man. It's believe it or not, it leads you into next year. It leads you into next year because now you have kind of an identity.
You see what's working right now, and trust me, the league is taking notice to Khalil Ware. That's one thing I love. Ware is a different beast, man, and I just love his growth. I mean, and I just tell people, be patient. I say the same thing about Jovic. Say the same thing about Jaquez. Be patient. Let them play. Let them just grow. Larson's the same way. Let them grow. There's gonna be times that they're, oh, dude, look, he told you he sucks, dude. It's a game. They're rookies. They're sophomores. Let them grow. Give them time. Now, guess what? Even if they're great, even if they have great games, they become pieces, like assets that eventually you could move on from.
You can move on to them. The only thing that scared me, and I remember we talked about Jaquez, is the team scouted him and they game plan for him. Jaquez needs to learn how to change directions and change speeds, because right now what Jaquez has is that spin move, and teams already have scouted him, man. And it takes, because he has such great footwork, and he is such an asset defensively at times, that if he can figure out how to play at a different speed, like I want to see what he works on in the offseason to make that jump, because everybody goes through the sophomore slumps. That's okay. So you want to see how he reinvents himself now with a clear offseason. And like you said, you don't know if they're going to stick around, if they're going to be moved. But I know in the offseason, when Khalil Ware gets in the film room and gets more encore work with Bam, like a full training camp, a full offseason, because timing is important. When you got Khalil Ware out there with Bam and Hero, timing and space is very important. Knowing when to move. Khalil still, obviously, he's improving his footwork, but he has natural athleticism, man. You can't teach those things. Like when you see him do certain plays out there, that you're like, wow, bro. Like we legit have for years. We went away from size, and when you see him sometimes out there with Bam, I'm like, oh, bro, what a thing of beauty. If this can continue to work and he continues to develop, and I'm like, oh, and I don't know if you saw this, Bob. Did you see the Celtics game yesterday versus the Suns?
No.
Bro, when you see the Celtics starting five out there, and they made, I think they started the game like 4 for 4 from 3-point line. It was legit. They're walking up half court. They're playing 5 out. Even Porzingis is in the top of the key. He just made 2 threes within 5 minutes. And Budenholzer calls a timeout. He was doubling the ball. And I kept looking at him like, why are you sending 2 to the ball when you have a team that can shoot it from everywhere? Like, they're just moving the basketball. And I'm like, wow, bro. They to me, they're still the team to beat with the Cavs. And I really want to see OKC come out in the West. I really want to see him come out because that would be a fun series, man.
No, OKC, I want to see. I want to see them do something. You know, I don't want to see the same old. You know, I want to see a new team. I want to see. I want to see the Thunder. I want to see the Cavs right now. You know, I don't want to see the Celtics. I don't want to see the Lakers, even though obviously that's box office, right?
Oh, for
Lakers
sure.
versus Celtics in the finals.
Sure.
Can you imagine?
Sure.
I mean,
sure.
But no, I don't want to see that. I want to see some new teams. I want to see something different, unless it's the Heat. Unless it's the Heat.
Can you imagine, bro? Out of all the years,
they make this run, right?
Heat versus Warriors.
You know, let me make sure I ain't missing nothing here.
Yeah, Russ. Yeah, I think Russ is gonna be Celtics or Cavs versus OKC. That's what my finals pick is.
Say what?
And
Russ Morgan in the house. What's up, Russ? Kenna? What's going on, guys? Sorry, I wasn't seeing the comments there.
And Celtics, they'll have a tough time. OKC is the best defensive wing team in the NBA. Well, the best defensive team in the NBA, period. And bro, and like for example, for you, what you mentioned, Bobby, with Lakers and Warriors, they're very matchup dependent. If they get the wrong matchup, they're out in the first round. Like none of them want to face the Nuggets. None of them can beat the Nuggets. So that is one thing that is very matchup dependent.
No, I don't want to see the Celtics in the final. I admit it's box office. Celtics, Lakers, absolutely. Everybody's gonna watch that. I won't, you know, but everyone else would.
You know you're gonna watch that shit.
I don't know who I'd root for. I won't be able to root for the Celtics, dude. I'd probably just be okay with either one. But the Lakers, I'm gonna be like, just
I can never root for the Celtics ever.
Yeah, I can, dude.
I mean, they play beautiful basketball.
I respect, I guess. I respect the history. I respect the brand. So I don't want that to get mixed up because I'm gonna watch. I started watching the Kobe doc on HBO.
It came out already?
Yeah, it's there. 3 episodes.
I'm gonna start watching. Okay. Here we go with it.
Whatever, dude. Try to live in Miami, bro.
Steve Kerr. I know Steve Kerr didn't mean it as a little jab, but the way he described Miami, like, it's typical Miami. The way he said it, it rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like, no one talks about my city like that. Like, why do we have this thing about, because Miami's a great place to live. They're always late. I'm like, do you know how bad traffic is to get to the arena?
No, they don't know. That's why they say it.
Dude, you have to leave your house like 2 hours before just to be able to find parking and get into the arena.
It's horrible.
And then, and I think Draymond Green was like, come halftime, no one was in their seats. In what arena are people in their seats at halftime? They're getting food. They're in the concession stand. They're using the restrooms. I'm like, shut up, bro. Like,
so shut up, Russ. Yeah. You jackass. I'm just playing, Russ. Russ will be on with me tomorrow on Check Down as we talk about the NFL. No, Russ, I know Russ is still here. I was just shouting you out earlier in the show, Russ, about On Deck. We were talking about the Marlins. I wish, Russ came in. I know Russ was following every game today because he even messaged me or commented on Twitter. But the Marlins, I was really proud of, man. It was really cool to see them come out. They come back. They win the game. But yeah, Russ Morgan, guys, if you don't, you already know, you got to check him out on Wednesday nights, 7:30 Eastern for On Deck, and soon to be also on Sundays for a few episodes on Sundays here. Every other week, he'll do On Deck, possibly with a guest. I may just change it up and make it Marlins and make him host a Marlins show just because he talks so much shit about the Dolphins and everybody else.
Hey, Russ can share. What I love about the Marlins this year is like we're so young and we're still injured. There's still half of the pitching staff is still not there. Jesus Sanchez is injured. Norby is injured. But they got nothing to lose this year, man. They decided to go. Yeah.
That's the thing. Just got it. No, but it was very impressive. Russ, if you don't mind, just put it in the comments. I don't know if you're busy or not. I'd love to invite you on if you were, just to say very quick about what you thought of the Marlins game. But if you just put in the comments what you saw, if you were able to watch any of it, and just what impressed you, what player impressed you. Was a surprising win for you. I mean, it's only the first game of the season of the series.
Yeah,
but Paul Skeens did start tonight, right? He did start today.
Yes.
I know he was projected to. Did he?
Sandy Alcantara was pitching lights out.
Sandy did good. I did read
that in the fifth inning, but he was pitching lights out.
That's all right. Man. That happens, dude.
I really hope we don't move. I really hope we do not move him, man.
Is Yuri hurt? Or Yuri playing?
Yuri's still coming from rehab. He's supposed to be ready by midsummer, but supposedly they're saying he was already doing his bullpen sessions today, so he should be back before. I mean, when we're healthy, man. This team and what we still got in the farm system coming up with Thomas White, what we have in AAA right now. Even our starting rotation, I think, is in AA or AAA, is even lights out. So there's a lot of talent coming up.
Let me get. Russ is available, so let's get Russ in here.
Let's go.
And he'll talk baseball with us, but he'll talk Marlins because I would love to hear from him. He's a former player, played in college. He's a scout too. He scouted. And his passion is baseball. So let's get him in here, Alex, and get Russ in here. He's a great dude, man. Have you had a chance to meet him?
No, I believe I have not.
All right. Well, you're not missing much. He's a Celtics fan and a Jets fan, but still, we'll get him.
You've said enough. Why do I want to meet him?
I just sent you the link, Russ. Whenever you can, bro. We'll get you in here.
When he comes on, I'll go up because
that's right. I'll just log out. Let me fix this while he's coming on.
I cannot interact with Celtics fans.
And
maintain full composure.
No, he's a good dude, man. He's a good dude. But let me fix this up here. Get him in here. Bear with me, Alex. I don't think you could see you disappeared. I made you disappear on my end.
Oh, I disappeared on your end?
Yeah, because I'm editing.
Myself. Wow.
Yeah, I exited you out, but
wow,
that way we could fit Russ in here.
That's great, for sure.
But
thanks, man.
Yeah, awesome. Whatever, dude. Yeah, go fuck yourself. No, and that's what's the good thing about Russ. Russ, just letting you know, man, this is a laid back show, so we'll get Russ Morgan in here.
Can you imagine Russ falls asleep the moment you say, "Hey, I send you a link"? He passes out a little bit, and then we're just waiting, and Russ wakes up 3 hours from now, "Oh shit, my bad, man."
He spilled water on his computer yesterday. I walked away. What's great about Russ's show is that I'm able to get up and do other things, and then he'll text me about 5 minutes before the end and say, "Hey, Bobby, I'm getting off," so I could go ahead and log him out.
Yeah.
And he just texted me I got outside, I started playing basketball with my son, and he also get a message. He goes, "Hey, you want to hop on real quick?" I'm like, "The hell?" And I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "No, what's wrong?" So I went on. I saw he was there, and of course he spilled water, and of course there's a nice little MFer on there, mother. Yes, he did it. So live on the show. So appreciate that, Russell. But as we wait for Russ Morgan to pop in here, we'll talk a little bit Marlins baseball with Russ. But as we're waiting on him, very quick talk about Tristan, Alex.
Yeah,
we were talking before the show about you and your son. Possibly, you guys are going to Georgia for a tournament, which is really freaking cool. Cummings, Georgia, where my uncle lives, my uncle, my aunt Michelle, Uncle Nathan. So that's really cool. I was just saying about Tristan. He every day I get home, dude. I've told you before. He doesn't matter if it was raining, if it's cold, it was hot today. He's outside practicing. He's playing, and he started showing, "Dad, just watch me flick my wrist," and he's just doing this.
That's good, man.
But the other night, I win and it's mad. So he gets all moody, and I was like, "Wow, you want to try again?" And then we'll do 15 more points, and but the other day, something that he started to perfect, because he did it one time. It was awesome. And I told him, I
Yeah.
said, dude, you know what? If you do this shot, if you continue to do that, no one can stop you really.
Yeah.
And it's the hook shot. Alex,
Oh,
he comes
he's
around,
getting
Alex,
the hook. He's getting a little hook
he-
shot.
the hook shot, bro. I gotta send you.
What?
He goes like that. He did it one time by mistake, and I was like, what the? I was like, whoa! I was like, dude. And so like now he just, that's what he practices. And I said, dude, if you can figure that out where it's consistent,
Bro,
no one can get you from that end. Nobody can touch you because it's on the opposite side.
Yeah, no,
You just
he's
gotta-
gonna be an 8-year-old just hooking his way all the way through.
I told him, I said, son, if you just, and he's starting to dribble better. Like it's not pretty.
It's
but like
gonna
it's
take
real low,
time.
and he goes between his
Yeah.
legs. Like I go, in no time, it's gonna be,
Yeah,
Let's okay. So he is wearing Jets green. I'm gonna have to ask him to change his shirt before he comes on in here.
Oh
Is that
my
Celtics
God,
green?
look at this, unbelievable.
Yeah, they come in here and do
Jesus,
this.
man.
Let's get Russ Morgan in here, host of the On Deck
Unbelievable.
podcast.
I'm going.
Russ, what is
I'm
up,
going.
brother?
How we doing?
What's up,
Hey,
man?
Alex,
Welcome.
I was wearing my you talking
Oh
trash
my
about my boy
God,
Tatum.
bro.
I had to rock my Tatum shirt.
he left the show.
I will be doing this show from now on. Just weird. Unbelievable.
You guys been talking about my trash about Tatum. I mean, he drives
Anything
me
is possible. It's like,
he
shut
drives
up.
me nuts too. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
he drives me fucking nuts. But
He's a great player, right? I mean,
He is.
It's just
I every year ago, like I get it. I'm kind of weird. I'm a Yankees Jets fan. My dad's from New York, but my grandfather grew up was living in Boston when Red Auerbach first started coaching. So I'm a diehard Celtics fan.
Yeah.
And my dad was in New York in the the 60s, 70s when the Knicks were really good.
Willis Reed.
Oh yeah, in the prime time. But I mean, like, everybody's like, you like the Celtics? They win. I'm like, well, first off, they didn't win too much when I was alive. We won.
That's true.
We won last year and then 2009. And I mean, I'm from LA, so I mean, I grew up fucking Lakers fans my whole life, and they were good. I hate the Lakers. I don't like any. I don't like
You have a
any
sport
LA
fandom dilemma.
I don't like any LA team. I like every team from the East Coast.
From the East Coast.
But let me ask you, Russ. I'm just going to ask you because I want to trigger you.
Oh, it's all good.
You lived in LA. You could be like, hey, I'm a Celtics fan. I grew up with Celtics, but I can like the Lakers too. You're not a double team guy.
Yeah, Bobby,
Never.
Hell no. If you got Bobby, I told you got two teams. You got no teams.
No
right?
teams, bro. Nothing. You can't trust a man that has two
brother-
teams. You cannot trust a man that has two teams. Nope.
My brothers are like, I know baseball. Like, I know basketball pretty good, but like he'll even come to me and be like, he's a sports reporter for Fox, and he'll be like, if you want to go talk baseball, you go talk to Russ. He knows it. Me. If you want to go talk basketball, I had to make sure before I came on.
That's
here.
how Alex and I are with basketball.
Oh yeah,
and
he
baseball.
knows basketball
Football.
way more than me. Yeah. Like I came out here. I'm like, I gotta make sure I got. I'm like, I'm gonna relax, just watch some games. I'm like, fuck. Now I gotta make sure I got March Madness on, so I can watch a little in the background. But I mean, if you want, like, because my brother, he used to work for he was a Clippers insider, so his first SGA's first interview with the Clippers after he got drafted. Obviously, he had the one with the Clippers.
Yeah.
Was with SGA, and he's like, this dude's gonna be real. He was like, everybody's like, I don't think he's gonna be good. I'm like, I think they're the real fucking deal. And he's a really good guy too.
He's very humble.
He's a fucking. I think that's the only team. If this was, I mean, I think the only team, if the Celtics are fully healthy with Holiday, the only team that can beat them is OKC. And Porzingis just takes them to the next level. I mean, you see them when they play Cleveland. They were right there, but if you have Drew Holiday, he just takes them. That defense, his defense just and I mean, they won it last year. The defense takes them to the next level.
Absolutely.
And if you add Porzingis to that, it's just too much. But Oklahoma City is scary. Is really scary. Really good. And don't get me wrong, I like what they're doing there. I mean, now doing the baseball podcast, and I love baseball. I love all baseball. I'll root for the Yankees, but I'll root for players. Like, I hated the Marlins as a kid because they beat the Yankees in 2003.
Damn right. Say that again.
But, yeah.
Say that again.
Fuck off, Bobby. But then when I'm like, yeah, what, now it's like, and like I even came on, we were doing like a Marlins podcast. I was like, we were doing like a Marlins specific episode, and this was before they. I'm like, if this team stays healthy with all what they had, I'm like, they have some good players. I'm like, they could be surprising.
I want to ask you, Russ, since I have you, Bobby, I want to take this opportunity.
Go.
Because obviously Bobby knows I grew up playing baseball, and we went through the rebuilds, the fire sales. Based on what you've seen and your knowledge, what does this rebuild compares? What is the comparisons to this rebuild? Is it Astros like, or is it even more advanced than the Astros when they tore everything down and then they went on the pennant for like 6-7 years? Or like, what is the? Because obviously it's all if Sherman is willing to spend at the right time and spend smartly. But how do you see the outlook? I love the talent that I see. I love the way it's been rebuilt, the farm system. But from your point of view, what is the outlook for fans?
I know everybody's opinion on the Astros, and I have a different opinion on that. I think it's more like that because the way the Astros did it, where they rebuild from the draft, they rebuild from trading players, which Marlins are doing. Because I mean, if you're a Marlins fan, you're going to be like, oh, why am I going to go watch this? I'm like, they have some really, really good players in the system. Thomas White's going to be really good. Noah Mayer could be real. I mean, they've got some really good players in the system. But so I think they kind of, minus the scandal with them stealing signs, which I'm a baseball player. Everybody steals signs. All right, and don't get me wrong. The Yankees.
They just got caught.
Yeah, they got that. The Yankees did it. The Dodgers were doing it. I've yelled at every single Dodger fan I know, and they're like, I'm like, you guys did that too. Everybody was doing it. Now I'm not saying what they did was right. They just took it to another level,
They were very sophisticated with how they did.
But I was a baseball player. If you tell me I know what's coming, like, I'm not going to say no to that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's for not being a Marlins fan, just being a baseball fan, it's probably frustrating because I see Miami as a big media market, and I've never understood why players such as LeBron wanted to come to. Everybody wants LeBron wants to come to Miami. You see all these football players they want to go to Miami. Why does nobody want to go to the Marlins? I'm like, everybody's like, oh, South Beach. This is now. First off, I've never been to South Beach. I do live in Florida. I do live in Florida now. I live in Bradenton, so like on the West Coast, Southwest Florida. But I mean, I just don't get why it's such a desirable city for basketball, for football. Maybe not as recent on the basketball side, and then you get to the Marlins, which on the side of winning, they've had very successful teams. I mean, in '97 they were successful. In 2003 they're successful. I don't understand they just get the same turnout. And my thing is very Hispanic, and we all know about Hispanic cultures. Venezuela, Dominican, Puerto Rico, Cuban. They love their baseball. And I'm dying to get down there when they got the World Baseball Classic in Miami. Dude, like,
my father-in-law and I are talking about it. He wants to go because of Puerto Rico and he wants to watch them. So we talked about it.
Juan, Bobby.
Huh?
Puerto Rico's hosting in San Juan. The first round release.
Yeah.
But
we talked about it.
If you've seen any of those games, you see they got the Caribbean series down there last year. It's a whole different environment. It's a party. So, I'm just surprised that they don't get the same turnout because, I mean, you have a very Latin population who loves baseball. I mean, like Puerto Rico and Cuba, the number one sport's not soccer.
No. The stadium is in Little Havana. It could be Russ, and I've dissected this because we still haven't had time to build generational fandom. Like this is like, for example, for the Marlins right now, I started watching them as a kid, so I'll be passing it on to my son. That is kind of like the first generation, like my mother passed to me. But I don't know if it's been the fire sales, the lack of trust in organizational leadership, and the fact that the fans have been sold the same thing over and over.
Yep.
So now, if you're a smart owner, like I hope Sherman does and follows through, if you rebuild the right way and you have a winning product, you're going to have to pay to keep your players. I understand you're going to trade some because you still got a lot in the farm system. But if there's maybe some consistency that you kind of started seeing with Skip, and then obviously they had a mini fire sale again. You saw hope with Skip, and towards the last year, like that short season with Don Manley. But if you see more consistency, the stadium is beautiful. The experience is great, and like you said, we took our kids to the Savannah Bananas. The stadium was packed, so turnout is there. The World Baseball Classic is insane. So I feel if you have a winning product and you're consistent with it, and people can gain that trust again into the organization, you might see long-term support. Hopefully, kind of like with the Panthers. The Panthers, for a very long time, they had troubles drawing fans. They were drawing maybe like half of the arena, and now they're sold out every single game for the last 4 to 5 years. So I'm hoping the Marlins can follow like an in-town story, kind of like the Panthers did, and find some success, and the fans will come out.
Yeah,
and the winning
are massive. I mean, it's one of the best teams. And I mean, and I'm not a hockey guy. I never.
Yeah.
I'm from LA, so I didn't really ever get into it. But I mean, like, and the same thing here in Tampa Bay. I'm like, it's every game you go to Tampa Bay, it's sold out.
Well, what you're saying?
I almost did the same thing. I meant to grab another cup, and I grabbed my water.
Is that why your face went like that?
Dude, all you hear yesterday, I'm going, I grab my water, and it just spills everywhere. And all you hear is, mother. I'm like, hey, this is live. We're going live here.
Sorry. So sorry.
I was like, oh, I try not to. I get it. There's sometimes I try not to, like, I'm a big Bill Simmons guy, right? I love Bill Simmons. And I really like his Russillo. Used to like it as much as Russillo and Bill Simmons, but they swear so much.
Yeah,
it just drives. I'm like, oh, we don't need to be dropping the F-bomb.
Did you watch I haven't watched it yet, but Bill Simmons just did He did the Celtics story though on HBO. I haven't
watched it. I heard it's good.
I have to watch it. I started watching the Kobe one. I couldn't finish it because my kids were coming in and I wanted to pay attention to it. He was in Spain at the time, and he was just a different beast, man. Kobe Bryant. We talked about it. I want to ask you because I know you say your brother is the basketball savant, but you know basketball, you know sports.
Yeah,
I could talk to you. Yeah,
I'm just saying he knows way more than me.
But you're watching. You know what's going on in the world of sports. I want to ask you because you're here and going on. What's with LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith, man? What are you thinking about that? What's your take on that?
Oh,
we just talked about it, but I want to know what you think about
it. I just feel like he opened up a can. You see how he's resting up. He's like, oh, here we go.
Yeah,
revved them up.
I saw some smoke out of his ear. That's like,
I love talking football. I love talking baseball, but I'm like, I don't get a little basketball fix going. Where, down here in Florida, I really don't have any fans. I'm like, I need to talk some basketball. I'm like, come on, we're ramping it up here, playoff time almost. I'm like, nobody really. I'm like, with the LeBron-Stephen, I'm like, first off, I really don't care about LeBron and Stephen A. going at it. Second of all, like, and I was like, Bronny, like I get it. He's a good player, but he wasn't even the best player on his high school team. He wasn't even the best player at Sierra Canyon. In I think it's Calabasas, California. So, I mean, maybe, I'll say he got drafted because of his dad. He wasn't going to be a second round pick. If he stayed a couple years at USC, maybe. But I mean, he's not 6'8", 6'9" like his father. He's 6'3". So I mean, on that, he could turn out to be a very good player. But was he ready to be in the NBA at this exact moment? No.
I know what Alex was. We were just talking about it with Bronny. And I think we all agree, right? He could have used another year in college and kind of help it, and that may have helped him in the draft too. But again, I understand though the desire in the pool to go play with your dad and be able to be the first father-son duo to play, and that's what obviously what LeBron wanted. I just think it's just comedy right now with I actually think when I saw LeBron talking and when he said something about Stephen A, when he talked about the Whitey Tidies comment, going, he just loves me talking about him, and and it's like, damn, LeBron, like where was this LeBron? Like LeBron is usually the guy who just lets people shit on him, and he won't say nothing, he'll just play and whatever. Like to seeing this LeBron, I was listening yesterday at the clips, and I was like, it's like talk about Cuban and being chismosa. You're sitting there, you're going, oh, okay, Whitey Tidies too. God dang, all right. What's Stephen A gonna say? Stephen A's like, first of all, I don't wear Whitey Tidies, and I'll let you wonder why. No, LeBron, no, Stephen A, tell us why.
Yeah,
why don't you wear Whitey? I mean, I don't, but why? Why do you? Why don't you wear Whitey Tidies? But it was like, oh gosh, and just seeing Stephen A. Smith, obviously,
which is a good
hurt.
conversation. When did you stop wearing tidy whities?
When I was a kid.
I think I was like 7 or 8.
Yeah, you were more like 18 probably.
It doesn't matter. Man. It doesn't matter. Fruit of the Loom.
Alex, okay. Have you watched Bronx Tale?
No, not yet.
Oh, come on, man.
You haven't watched Bronx Tale yet, Alex?
My favorite thing in Bronx Tale, they have the fight scene in the bar, and the guy's like, he closes the boss closes the door, and he just goes, now you can't leave.
You can't leave. It's one of the greatest. It's a very low budget movie, but it's so well done. And again, the scene when Robert De Niro just simply, and he's in the movie, but he's not he's not the star. He's not the star. But when he goes in the scene, he drops the money on the table and tells him, it's not your son, that's my son. And the guy, what the f- did you say? Just love that movie. Love that movie. Let me see. I'm probably missing comments. Those crickets are on fire. I know. The luxury of Alex doing the show outside.
You're welcome. I could watch it. I could watch it on Amazon Prime. Okay.
Yeah, watch it, dude. It's not a long movie. It's really a good movie. It really is. Everybody quotes that movie. They love that movie. Talking about shows, Tati just got done watching Paradise. I saw bits and pieces of it. Did you guys know about Paradise?
I haven't started it yet. Don't ruin anything.
Yeah, they all die in the end. It's fucking
what?
Right. No! I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that.
Mother.
But you know what though, Alex? Russ doesn't know this about me, but he will now. But Alex, I love writing.
He knows himself to suck. That's what he knows.
Oh
man,
bounce the fuck off this show right now. But it's like, yeah. So,
hey Bobby, I like I said, I do like the jersey. I think the Marlins should go back to that aqua feel. It's way better than the crap they got right now.
Why?
Yeah, I'm with you. It's funny though. It's crazy. Every time the team changes uniform, you get excited for a new uniform, and then at the end you start going, nah, I want to go back. I know.
I think on that, like the Florida Marlins, you can get the whole state.
Yeah.
What they're saying, they go we're Miami, but I'm like, you could get the whole state. The same thing with like the Minnesota Twins did when they came. I'm like, if you the Florida Marlins, it just sounds a little better for me. And it was a cleaner for me. I'm an old school guy, so I was like, that was a cleaner look than now. It's all these. I know what they're getting. They got the kids, but the whole color scheme's a little too much.
Yeah.
No, I'm a classics guy, man, especially with the Marlins. But so Paradise, the other one, no, I want to ask because Russ and we've talked about different shows before. Obviously, when it comes to Larry David, it's all Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Seinfeld, all they're all legends, and Veep and Curb Your Enthusiasm. Alex, have you ever seen any of those shows, Veep or Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I've seen Curb Your Enthusiasm. I never started Veep. I've seen clips here and there.
Oh, dude, it is so freaking good, man. You know what show I started rewatching? I started it a long time ago and I stopped, and then I went back to it because this guy Danny McBride is hilarious. But first off, Righteous Gemstones. If you haven't watched that, you gotta watch that. That is so freaking good. It's so bad though, like not bad in a bad way. I mean, it's bad where you go, oh my gosh, like what? Some of the shit they do. But it's good though, it kind of makes fun of big churches and stuff, which is But it's really funny with John Goodman. But the show is, and maybe you know this, Russ, is Eastbound and Down.
Oh my God! Don't give me the Eastbound and Down.
It,
Talk about a show that's a baseball show that has no baseball knowledge whatsoever.
it's so bad,
but it's hilarious.
It's so bad that it's good. Like when it, you watch, I'm not Russ. Again, for those tuning in and those who are going to watch later, if you love baseball or anything, you got to watch Wednesday nights On Deck Baseball with Russ Morgan. We joke around and we shoot the shit and have fun and pick on each other, but this guy knows baseball and it drives him crazy. Like, I don't pretend to know baseball like him. I'll talk about fandom, I'll talk about this, I'll talk about that, but I'm not gonna be like, in the curve and this and he's, because he'll lose his mind because he's like, you don't know what you're talking about. So you can't argue. You do it if you want to piss him off. Pretend you know baseball. And it's like, Russ, no, listen, you don't know what you're talking about, bro. Look, I've watched different movies, okay, and the one with Brad Pitt, Moneyball. I know what I'm talking about, bro. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That piss him off, and I'm all for it. But
you can piss me off easily, and I'll get going. My thoughts will get I'll start getting comments, and my thoughts will be racing so much that I'll just be blurting shit out. I'm like, and someone's going,
you see the laptop fly over. That's what Russ needs. Russ eventually, hopefully, my wish is for Russ to be big and he'll be, his brother will be Fox Sports and you could go to, some other network could be a sports guy for them. But reality is Russ needs to be a baseball manager because I would love to see him argue with an umpire. I would love to see Russ arguing with an umpire. That's the difference.
I'm a really calm guy, Bobby. Like, I'm like really like I can.
Oh yeah, look, son of a bitch! Bobby, gotta get on the show. Bobby, get on the show.
Bets flipping, got everything.
Oh yeah, it was like I was like, yeah, Bob, you want to tune in? And I'm like holding my computer, like wiping it out, losing all my notes. And he's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Dude, I just."
I thought what it was originally, because I figured maybe there's something going on, but originally I thought was maybe because he's talking because he was talking opening day. I thought he was like, oh, maybe he got to the Marlins, but hey, Bob, and he was like, hey, Bobby, you want to come on and maybe talk about the Marlins? So I was like, oh, what's up, But when I got around into the room and I went back to the studio and I look and I see like it's just like nobody's here. I just see the wall, and I'm like, I hear him going, anyway, guys, I'm so sorry. And then I'm like, oh crap! So I sat down. I go, what's up, man? He's like, I spilled water. I'm like, oh crap!
It's everywhere.
We're live, dude. We're not, we're live.
I was literally got the last part. I'm reading like, guys, I'm watching. I'm like, I want to see Alcantara, see how he comes back, and I'm reading just like reading stuff. I'm like, fuck! I just erased everything in the bottom, and then I go, I was like, hey, Bobby, I got like 5 minutes because like I usually text him when I'm about to wrap up because I know he's playing basketball with his son, so I'm like. And I do my exit, and then it just keeps on going. I'm like, oh, I guess I jumped the gun. And he texted me like 5 minutes later. I'm like, I was like, Bobby, I got nothing left.
Oh, because he texted me. He goes, hey, 5 more minutes. I may wrap up. So I said, all right, because I texted him. I said, no worries. Sometimes we talk after the show, but I would hate that like, if I can't. That just he'll be sitting there and I'm like I'm gone and he'll be like, so I tell him, hey, after the show I can't stick around, which it doesn't matter, but I tell him, hey, I'm gonna have to run, I gotta run and do the Caneswear show as soon as we're done. So that's when he was like, he saw it, he started laughing and he goes, all right guys, well I guess that's it, we'll talk later. I'm like, oh shit, so I have to
had nothing to talk. I'm like,
no, it's all good, but it was just so funny because when you can still see him in the credits in the after, and you just see Russ go like this, Russ going. He's like, whatever. He's like, all right. It's just a little thing people don't see.
My mind turned off by that. I was like done the first time. My mind just like, all right, I'm off. And then I was like, yep, guess I'm not. I guess I got to keep on going and make it fly.
Russ, let me ask you this, man, because we're at the hour and sometimes we go really long, but we won't be too long tonight. We'll wrap this up. But I want to ask you, now that I have you, just in baseball for this season, what teams can you see making a legit run for the World Series this year? And who do you think the NL AL MVPs? Like, who are your favorites if you have them, if you don't mind?
Unfortunately, NL is going to be probably the Dodgers.
Okay.
If they stay healthy, no one's beating them. It's insane.
Shohei's ridiculous, man. He's so cool.
Get on that one. Travis Hunter's like, I'm the better guy doing two-way. I'm like, dude, like I get it. Like you're great, but do it at Shohei's level, where he's gonna when he was pitching, and he was still solidly hitting. Now it'll be interesting to see what he does this year. He won't go 50-50 with pitching, but I mean, baseball's one of the toughest sports you'll ever play in your life.
I am agree. Look, I've played. I think I told you this off air. I'll say it on air. I don't care. I've played organized football for high school, and I played organized baseball when I was a kid. I never played organized basketball. I did. Obviously, I played every day with Alex growing up, but I played we played everything. But baseball was it was the hardest thing to play. Basketball, it's fun. You're loose. Absolutely. Football could be tough, but I know football. I could play. But baseball was hard. I could throw a football all freaking day. I could shoot a basketball if I want to. Not as great. Now Alex is a show off. But I'm all right. I mean, yeah, he's a prick.
Just catching strays for no reason. For no reason, bro. For no reason.
Your face is a stray. Your face is
always,
a stray.
Always. Look at that. We'll keep catching strays. Unbelievable.
I just hope
they're just hating.
If Ice could see you right now, you'd be gone.
Wow,
but anyway,
there you go.
Boom!
Yeah.
Back to level. But no, I'm gonna tell you something.
A baseball on the side,
baseball's hard, man. Baseball is a hard game to play.
Baseball, because I mean, all my people here, they like football. My brother, they're soccer or tennis players, and they don't like baseball. And they're like, baseball's boring. I'm like, I get it. It's not like the most exciting sport, but I'm telling you, if you don't have good hand-eye coordination, you are screwed in baseball. And you saw, I mean, Deion Sanders, one of the better cornerbacks we've seen in NFL history, after my man Darrelle Revis. But I mean, and he'll even come out and say, hey, Ocho Cinco even said 2009 was the best cornerback season ever. Darrelle Revis just look at the list.
Revis Island.
Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson.
That's true.
Ocho Cinco twice or whatever he's going by now. Should just go back to Chad Johnson. But I mean, Deion was like, no doubt, baseball's harder than football, and I get it. And baseball is probably the only sport that, and there might be a few other. I won't talk about like tennis. Golf's pretty damn hard, and I play golf, and I'm good one day and can't hit the fucking ball the next day. But I mean, if pure athleticism can't just will you to win, like in football, like in basketball. If you're, and we see in basketball, I mean, you're athletic. You can figure a way to get it done.
I was wondering what Tati was talking about, and then because I just went back to the comments, and she's talking about Paradise. So I was like, what got sentimental or dramatic? We haven't been sentimental or dramatic on this show. I was like, I thought she was talking about the show because she's like, remember, the creator of this is us, and the one who created it. I'm like, is Tati having a mental attack? Like, I gotta go check on my wife. She's talking about Paradise, and that it got overly dramatic and sentimental, and I'm kind of like, all right,
Alex, this is the best story about Bobby. So I'm doing a game 1-2 World Series recap. He's got a dolphin. He's like, I got a dolphin.
Come on, dude.
It'll be good. Don't worry. I'm like, and I'm pissed off because I'm losing. Like, I'm going mad dog here. I'm slamming the table. I'm yelling. And Bobby forgets to turn his mic off. So
I'm producing. I didn't take myself out of studio. Just turn my camera off.
He's yelling about Tua. And people are like, this was like my first real big show. Like, I had, I had like 400 or 500 people. So I'm like, dude, this is really good. And Bobby's yelling. The guy's like, I can't hear you. I'm like, is this just normal? I got to yell louder now?
I will give Russ credit, man. Like, he doesn't get flustered. Like, he just texts me so calmly. And I watch him still talking. And I'm like, because I saw my phone go, I have it on, because Russ texts me, I got to jump. So I see the message and he goes, hey, your mic's still on. We can hear you. And I go, I'm reading. I go, oh, shit. So I look at him. He goes, anyway, I'm like, I like,
thank God they didn't hear anything else. Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want
yeah.
to go now?
It's
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
can't hear anything. I'm like,
Hey,
I guess
baby.
that's
Like,
just
no,
a-
Bobby, turn it off. Turn it off. Nobody's
You-
here. Let's go.
yeah.
You know, no,
Oh, you want to
Bobby.
talk about some defense? You
Yeah.
want some defense?
No, bro. Son of
all,
a
all you hear in
bitch.
the background is you hear me like, fucking Aaron Boone this. Why'd you do this? And you hear, God, do this.
See, I'm so calm during a show. I'm like, look, guys, we'll get over it. Dolphins will be fine. We'll do that. But when I'm watching it, you fucking suck. You know, I was like, I hope you break your ankles. You know, I was like, what? No. But no, that what she's saying about Paradise, the show This Is Us. I don't know if you guys remember that show at all. Is the same creator of
Yeah.
This Is Us. So even though it's a disaster show, or the premise of it, there's a lot of like those like moments where you know they try to make you cry. So I was kind of like, and I'm out. You know, I'm like, okay.
Bobby
But,
was definitely tearing up there. That's why he
it's
said
all right.
he was out. He was starting to tear up, so he's like, hey, we got to turn this off.
Can we just like, are you crying? No, it's just so stupid. This show's stupid. It's like he can't find his wife. That's so stupid, bro. Like,
yeah. What is this?
find a new one. What?
He's crying
Like,
because he's happy he can't find his wife.
Yeah.
those are tears of. It's just tears of joy. I'm just so
That's happy
for him.
tears. That man's happy as hell. Look at him. Look
New
at him.
life.
He's happy.
It's like new life.
New me. New me. Who's this?
He forgets his wife. Sure, you did, Chief.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
oh
Bobby,
no, it's too late. Huh?
On the Marlins note, and
Yeah.
I know you asked me this to talk about the Marlins a little bit. I unfortunately they're going to be in the rebuild mode, but like
Yeah.
what they did last trade deadline when they traded those two players and got they got some really Robbie
Yep.
Snell is going to be solid. Connor Norby is going to be
Yes.
a good player, and Kyle Stowers got the walk off today. Those are just guys I'm like, and I've been talking about this deadline, and people are probably like, what are you talking? I'm like, these are going to be, because I'm a college baseball fan.
Of course.
Nobody likes college baseball unless you live in the South.
That's your real passion with baseball is college baseball.
And I mean, you're in Miami. My University of Miami baseball historically has been a very good program. Now
Yeah.
this year's
We're
not
down.
as-
We're down. Yes.
not as
we're
good.
down.
And I know I've seen some Marlins chats. They're like, why did we hire this guy? But I'm like, historically, Miami has had a very good baseball program with some solid players coming out. And that's the other reason. But Norby's going to be solid. Stower's going to be solid. They just never had opportunities to play. So, I mean, and Snelling's going to be a good guy. So, I mean, they got some solid guys in that.
Ramirez, the catcher.
Yeah. The guy they got for Jazz. Yeah, he could be.
And Caba, but Caba's still a few years away. The one that we got for oh my God, who we traded to the Phillies? Luzardo.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus Luzardo.
Yeah. I mean, they've got some guys. I really like Norby. I like Stowers. And I was high. I actually wasn't that. I was like, going into the season, I'm like, this Marlins team, if they stay healthy, because they had a good staff with Braxton Garrett, with Sandy Alcantara coming back, with Lombardo, you got Max Meyer, Xavier Edwards is pretty solid. They had some guys, but they just decided to go the other way. But Norby's going to be a guy. Those two guys are just guys who need to get reps and need to. And he went. I saw both of them. Or Stowers in college. He went to Stanford and was solid. So I mean, and that's basically all baseball. I mean, if you got to get reps out there, you're going to struggle. I mean, you go back to my man Derek Jeter. He's like, if you go into baseball and knowing you're going to fail, he's like, I know I'm going to fail 7 out of 10 times, but I succeed 3, I could be in the Hall of Fame, which he is. It's a family sport,
It is.
But I mean,
what you just mentioned, man. What you just mentioned, Russ, and when you mentioned Thomas White and Noble Mayer, you're talking about even. I hope they don't, but even if they move Sandy, which obviously they're going to entertain it because it's yeah. You still have a rotation that is probably top 3, top 5 in the National League and MLB, and now you're going to see it's like how long do they? Because we've already been through this.
Yeah.
And I remember the Josh Beckett era, AJ Burnett, And there's situations where you're like, okay, is it sustainable now? Like they're all under team control. We had this already with the outfield of Yelich, Ozuna, Stanton. Stanton was the only.
Good thing you got rid of Stanton because his contract
Yes,
is
that contract is
hamstring. You
So-
can't, and he can't run to save his life either. Talk about a guy who, if you, I mean, I'm from Southern California. If you he went to Notre Dame Sherman
Yes.
Oaks High School. If you go to Notre Dame Sherman Oaks, because I scouted there, you'll see his name over every single record book. It's not basketball. It's basketball. It's baseball. It's football. He's in everything. Not Giancarlo. It's Mike.
Mike Stanton, yeah.
It's Mike. But his name's up on everything. I mean, so the guy can't even barely. I mean, like I saw him rounding third base in the World Series. I'm like, dude, you are like a 5-star athlete, and you look like you're on a leisurely jog. So I'm like, and I've told that I was like, you guys were like, yeah, when you made that trade, it looked terrible, but you probably came out winning because
long
you
term.
took that massive contract off the books. Because now it looks terrible because he can barely stay healthy.
Oof.
And I'm not a big fan of Giancarlo Stanton. So.
We figured that out.
I see. I see.
But anyway,
I mean, yeah, no, Thomas White. I mean, he was a later like first round pick, and they ended up, like in the draft. A lot of teams will draft, especially teams like the Marlins will draft players. Either they can get below slot value in the draft, so they can pay them less, and then allocate more for high
Correct.
school guys. So, like, I think Thomas White was like 35th, so it's like comp B or comp A, but they gave him more to forego his commitment to college to come. Now, I think it's better to go to college and get it there, but that's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong. Whatever, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong a lot of the times. I think the Jets are going to win all the time, and they never
wrong.
do.
Yeah,
I see Bobby's face. He's like, "Yeah, you're right on that."
Yeah, right on.
But I mean, that's what a lot of teams do is draft lower slot players, and that's what they did with Thomas White. So I mean, if he pans out, it could be good, and they still have some good players, and they'll probably get a nice prospect haul for Alcantara. Because he's got like $18.5 million on the books next year.
Yeah, it's coming. Like eventually, that's gonna come.
Solid 3-4. It's coming. It's coming. Especially with what we got going with the Yankees. I say we, but that's because I'm a fan. I'm not really part of the organization at all.
It's okay. We get it. I know people have a pet peeve on that. Like, what do you mean we? You're not a part of it. It's like, man, just let me talk.
We all feel like we're a part of the organization, but I'm like. He'll get traded for definitely. I don't know when that will be. Maybe they wait to the deadline where you get a good, little buzz going. But the way he looks solid today, for a guy coming off Tommy John, had 4 strong innings before that last inning. It's still 98, 99. I mean, he's when healthy, it's easily one of the better pitchers in baseball.
So it's at 10:30 Eastern, 10:34. We're about to wrap up.
Well,
but again,
who do you see in the finals? Well, first off, I'm a California boy, so what do you think about Jaime Jaquez? Because I saw that guy. I'm sorry, Bobby. I got a Heat guy. It drove me nuts. The one guy I wanted in that draft was Jaime Jaquez, and we had like 18 or 19 at the time. The Heat were like 2 before us. So I'm like, all right, I watched Jaime Jaquez all through college.
I'll talk.
You can say. You can respond to that one. And I'll give you my few points after.
Yeah.
From basketball perspective.
I loved Jaquez, and Alex is a witness to it. I was calling for him on that draft night. To me, I was like, this dude, when watching his film, watching his stuff, he reminded me of a poor man's version of a Jimmy Butler. He's an all-around basketball player. I'm a huge Jaquez fan. He's not having a great year this year, but again, he's a sophomore. There's sophomore slumps. I'm not worried about it. I believe in the kid. I'm glad he's not a Boston Celtic. I'm glad that he's a Miami Heat. He's a Heat player. He's a Heat player DNA wise. Like he has that in him. He could be a guy that could be here for many years and just you could fit him on any kind of, he fits with any type of scheme or whatever you want to do. He's that type of player. Love Jaquez. I remember that night when I was talking about, I was like, this is the dude. And and then when we drafted, I was like, yes. So, which I'm, again, I'm 3 for 3. I don't care. I'll keep saying it because I was, yay. I called 3 players. I said, it was Jovic, Jaquez, and Rare. And we drafted all 3. So now I'm nervous about part 4. So I'm happy if the Heat make the playoffs because then we don't have a first round pick. But then we still got Golden State. So I'm kind of screwed there. But maybe I'll go 5 for 5. We'll see. But Alex, your thoughts on Jaquez, man?
Well, Jaquez was a perfect fit in regards to where we drafted him and what we needed him for, and his overall talent, like Bobby said, in his DNA with a Heat culture. The only thing that was alarming as he goes into as he went into a second season is I figured that they were going to scout him and game plan against him and basically make him neutral to any outcome, any possible rotation that you had, and it kind of happened this year. I don't know if it was injuries slowed him down a little bit. He looks a little slower. His ceiling, realistically, is where he's at right now. He's already he was an older rookie. He played 4 years in college, but he was very one-dimensional. He had great footwork, can compete, but obviously when you get to the NBA level and there's other elite athletes, he was going to have a tough time standing out unless he learns how to change direction, be more multi-dimensional, even in the paint, because like I was telling Bobby, all he has is a spin move. Once you figure that out and he's not going to change speed because he's going to go straight at the rim, you can kind of game plan against him. You're going to get him in foul trouble. You're going to take a few charges. And you're going to get him out of the game. But this year, this offseason, he has to improve on his shooting. It seems to be like he lost his confidence in his three-point shot. And I do expect him to be more on ball because he can create. He's a great team player. He's a great defender, but he just has one speed. If he can change that up, he can be. But he's going to be a role player. He can fit in any system. But now, even with Miami, when you got Pelle Larson, it kind of seems to be like Pelle took a leap over him in rotational minutes, and now Jaime is completely out of the rotation. So it's just seeing if he can add anything else or perfect things in his game. When you have a ceiling like that, you got to be either a knockdown three-point shooter, or you have to be an elite defender to be able to maintain. He's a great rebounder. He has size. So, and he's not afraid of contact, which is a plus, but he just needs to be a little bit more multi-dimensional to continue to have a role in this team. He might be moved somewhere else and he might excel, in the West Coast. There's always been rumors about that. Him going to Phoenix, him going to the Clippers eventually, the Lakers. But, you never know. You never know where it's going to go. He just needs to continue to develop. But his ceiling is where he's at right now. He doesn't have a higher ceiling than this. He needs to perfect certain things. And if you have him more in an on-ball role, like I think he'll be successful. You can run offense through him at times.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. He's a slower guy. He was slower at UCLA too. That's his more game, back to the basket type of player.
Exactly.
But I mean, I like the UCLA. I think that was a solid pick for the Heat. But 4 years in college, you're not really you're going more on the floor than the ceiling.
Correct.
Josh Giddey just hit a half-court game winner against the Lakers. So the Bulls just beat the Lakers with 1 second remaining. They won. Well, nothing remaining. They scored. The Lakers took the lead with 3 seconds. Giddey rebound shot. Checked the ball in. They passed it back to him, and he shot half court to win the game.
Wow,
Josh
man,
Giddey,
those are the worst games to end. When you end a game like that and you lose a game like that, there's nothing you're like, oh man.
It's like, and so you thought Stephen A. Smith is probably jumping up in his whitey tighties back at home, going nuts over that. No, I will say this about I understand your point, Alex, and we're gonna wrap it up right now, but I'll just say I still think I'm not expecting some major leap out of
I get you,
but I do believe that there's still some growth in him. And that is maybe, turning something on his motor and whatever, and him becoming more of a Because, Jimmy at one point was a player where maybe people, oh, he hit his ceiling. And all of a sudden he came to Miami and he went like that, and
Exactly.
there's some stuff that he could switch, that he could become a way better player. So I'm not saying like he's going to develop something that's going to make him, a Tatum or a Jimmy or whomever. But I still think there's some growth left in him.
Yeah.
So I still think, I still believe. But again, Miami, what?
Jimmy's got the mentality of I'm the best player in the
and that's what I'm saying. Maybe there's something that has to click where he goes, okay,
throw it out, and that's probably why Jimmy's been on so many teams, because he's like, hey, I'm giving 110% every time. He expects the same, and that's probably why he can only play with Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah. But all right. Anyway, Russ Morgan, you catch. First off, Russ, appreciate you coming on, brother. Thank you so much for taking your time. I know it was
Russ.
Impromptu, but you see Russ tomorrow again with me talking NFL. We'll talk Cam Ward for the Miami Hurricanes, and is he the locked for the #1 pick, and how does he compare to Shedeur Sanders, and is Shedeur Sanders going to Dallas? I don't know. We're going to talk about that. So tune in tomorrow night for the check down with Dave Stager, Russ Morgan, and myself. Alex, my brother, any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
I know, Russ, it was great to finally meet you on screen. It was great talking to you, man. Appreciate you coming on.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me. And I've told Bobby, I hate all his teams. I hate all your teams, too.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
But at the end of the day, like,
just get him out of here.
It's just sports,
Yeah.
I get on there, I talk shit to Bobby on the podcast. Yeah, and then we get off and we just, it's just sports. It makes it a little more fun when you got a lot. I was like, I'm a Jets fan. I know you guys are all Dolphins fans. You hate me. I hate the Dolphins too. But I'm like, hey, it makes your network look good. You're getting a little parity in there. But I mean, at the end of the day, like it's sports. I mean, I like Bobby a lot. Fucking hate his teams, but I still like it.
Same here, bro.
Hey, I wish everybody was like that, man. Like, we're not curing cancer over here, man. We're just talking sports. We're hanging out. Like, people take it way too seriously sometimes.
And it's not like I had anything to do with my teams.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Same here.
Well, again, guys, catch Russ Morgan every Wednesday at 7:30 Eastern time for On Deck. Off and on Sundays, possibly. And, of course, you can check him on Fridays on Check Down with me, talking NFL football. See me and Alex here next Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, for another episode of East 10th Street Boys, straight out of Hialeah. We appreciate you. Like and subscribe, and good night, Miami. Peace.
Gringos in the house, straight out of Hialeah, no doubt. East 10th Street, where we play out. Here we bring the Miami crowd. Alex, the boy with the D. Step into rhythm, feel the heat. Street vibes mixing with the Latin tree. In our flow, the two worlds meet.